Welcome and thanks for tuning in to Get Knocked Go, where we dive into all things Fortnite. In today's video, we're going to be covering building and editing basics for entry-level gameplay. Fortnite is a third-person shooter that utilizes building mechanics, and if you want to get better at the game, you will have to learn to build at some point. So the build mechanics take place on a grid. That's why I've chosen the layout in this video. Notice the grid lines on the ground. Whatever you build from will snap to a grid in-game. Once you enter building mode, there are 4 basic pieces you can use to build with. You have floors, cones, ramps, and walls. Now each of these pieces has the ability to be edited. As you approach one, your build piece notices and asks if you want to edit that piece by highlighting an edit button. Playing on Xbox, my edit button is B. Now I'm just going to cycle through a few different versions of edits on a floor piece. You can do a corner, you can do an individual side, you can switch up sides, but you can also go angular. You can actually do a diagonal piece. Diagonal pieces are specifically to floors and cones only. There might be unique situations where you might use something like this, or you may want to throw down an L piece. Anyways, this is a handful of ways you can edit your floor pieces. You'll want to get comfortable with building and editing so you can be able to use them frequently in-game. I kid you not, it took me 6 months to learn how to build, so don't stress it will come. Moving on. Cones are used and edited in a handful of ways, from corner pieces usually up against walls to ramp-like pieces, just like you see here. Notice how a cone can be edited into a shape eerily similar to a ramp. Because of this, some players might pre-edit a cone into a ramp and use it throughout the game. But for now, let's not focus on pre-edits, let's focus on that another time. As I mentioned before, cone pieces and floor pieces can both be used diagonally. Here's an example of a diagonal piece of a cone and a diagonal piece of a floor piece right next to each other. This is something you won't use often, so don't stress it. Now, let me fumble around as I get this reset. Notice how it says edit. I'll edit, click my right joystick, and reset the piece. Now, I've talked about how cones and ramps can be quite similar. Let's talk about how they're different. Ramps, unlike floors, can take you up an entire grid spacing. This can be helpful when trying to get height during a fight. You can choose one side, you can choose the other, or you can do an L piece. The combination of these different edits could help you out in game, but as you're just starting out, don't focus on it too much as you're just understanding how you can edit. Additionally, you could complete an entire U-turn staircase, and that can go both directions. Let's move on to our last section to focus on. I'll reset the edits there, and I'll move on to the walls. Walls are probably one of the most important things you can edit in-game when it comes to fighting. Here is a handful of examples of how you can edit a window into a wall. You can use a window to peek on an opponent and get a shot off while maintaining cover in-game. Mastering these type of edits can save your health and keep you in-game longer. Moving on to other valuable wall edits. Maybe you want to throw a door in there, have a housewarming party. Welcome in. Nah, I'm just kidding, get out of here. Walls, just like windows, can be placed on either side or in the middle of a build, as you see here. This can be really helpful when you're in-game with friends in trios, duos, or squads, and they lock you out by building something. You can easily build a door and come back through. After covering doors, the next step you want to learn is large square openings and triangular openings through your wall pieces. Both of these can be used in different ways in-game to edit through a wall and get to where you want to go. By example, this upper right triangle edit is really helpful in-game because it allows your character an opportunity for minimal peeking while maintaining a healthy amount of cover for fighting. Notice how the second edit I did here leaves my entire lower body exposed. You'll want to avoid edits like this so you stay safe as much as possible when build fighting. As a final example, here's exactly how you can get killed. Edit like this and show your entire body, and it's over. Thanks for tuning in and watching Building Basics with Get Knocked Go.